Welcome one and all to Impressions of the First Kind, the show where I review a series I've never seen before based entirely on its first episode. I'm your host, the Average Weeb, and today's series is Black Clover. Now, before we get started... This show came to my attention when I saw it advertised as the new king of shonen. At first, I thought this was a pretty bold statement that the show could never live up to, but then I found that it was just a play on the premise of the series. So, let's get started with the artwork. Yes, the artwork. Specifically, this poster for the series from its Crunchyroll page. First thing I notice is this white-haired chap, and I think he looks like the love child of Soul and Black Star, so I'm going to call him Black Soul, even after I learn his name. After looking at these pictures of the Soul Eater stars, I realized I'm wrong about the whole love child thing. But it's already headcanon for me, so that guy's still Black Soul. Next is the other main character with the contrasting hair color. This can end up one of two ways. Either these two become the best of friends and inseparable like Gon and Killua of Hunter x Hunter, or one of them goes Sasuke and they become mortal enemies. I'm guessing it's the latter because black hair is the only character on this poster who isn't wearing the emblem on that flag. None of the other characters appear in the first episode at all, so they're just completely irrelevant space fillers that we don't need to care about. Moving on to the episode, it turns out that Black Soul is Asta, or Pasta if you choose, and black hair is Yuno. The series starts out with crying, hopefully not foreshadowing what I'll be doing as I continue to watch the show, and reveals the source as the two orphan babies, Pasta and, well, you know. The two are taken in by the priest at some church in the boonies, and we cut to 15 years later, seeing that they were pretty much raised as brothers, similar to Blue Exorcist. And then Black Soul starts yelling. She started it! A lot. I guess he has a thing for nuns because he's yelling a marriage proposal at one. He just won't... Stop yelling! Really, I feel bad for his voice actor. I don't think he has a single line in this series that isn't yelled. As I'm getting ready to give up on this and turn off the episode, Yuno shows up and tells Black Soul exactly what I'm thinking about him. You're loud, short, obnoxious, and immature. So he's your typical shonen protagonist. Needless to say, Yuno stepping in saved this video. Oh, and Black Soul can't use magic. Did I mention that? Because that's pretty important. In a world where literally everyone can use magic, he can't. He's Deku, at least in this regard. His personality aligns more with Bakugo. He's rather rash and in your face, with an attitude about him that just screams, I'm better than you. The big difference here is that Black Soul's attitude is baseless. Bakugo at least has some really strong magic to back up his boasting. Still, when Black Soul says he's going to be the Wizard King, he's as serious about it as Luffy being the Pirate King. This brings me to the next game. How many shonen series are in Black Clover? It looks like every popular shonen is somehow crammed into this one show, so let's pull out the checklist. Starting with what I've already said, Blue Exorcist, One Piece, My Hero Academia. Now things I haven't already called out by name. Fairy Tail, Full Metal Alchemist, Pokemon. Is Pokemon shonen? Sure, why not? Anyway, let's get back to the character study and come back to the checklist when we can cross off more. Moving on to Yuno, he's as opposite of Black Soul as you can be. He's quiet, tall, pleasant, and mature. See? The exact opposite of everything he called Black Soul. He is a bit of a dick to Black Soul, but the runt usually seems to deserve it. Going back to My Hero Academia, Yuno has the mentality and natural ability of Todoroki. He's incredibly gifted in magic, pretty much a better Harry Potter. So, Neville, I guess. Black Soul and Yuno seem to get along in the same sort of way as Naruto and Sasuke did at first, each having explicitly said that the other is his rival. That said, Naruto. Moving back to the plot, when a person in this world turns 15, they get their letter for Hogwarts. I mean, they get to go to the library and pick out one book to keep. Okay, so the books pick them, kind of like wands. And stop it right here for a second as Harry Potter. What? Harry Potter's a shonen now. Fight me. Anyway, everyone gets their grimoires, or magic books. Everyone except Black Soul. And Yuno gets a special, shiny book that has a 4-leaf clover on it instead of the normal 3-leaf. The leaves supposedly represent things, and having a 4th means you're lucky. Some guy with a burn on his face and a creepy voice seems excited by this, and I'm sure we'll see him later. Speaking of, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, Avatar is an anime. You shouldn't be surprised by this. I already called Harry Potter a shonen. A couple of guys at the library were talking about some Magic Knight's entrance exam, so I can also add Hunter x Hunter. Meanwhile, Black Soul is more motivated than ever to be the Hokage, because why wouldn't he be? After all, he didn't get that magic item that everyone his age gets. No big deal. A Wizard King doesn't need to be a wizard, right? He's been training his body all his life because of his lack of magic. He'll take the kingdom with his fists. So Burnface comes back and wants to steal Yuno's rare book and sell it on the wizard black market. He uses chain magic and prepares Yuno for some BDSM. Then, Black Soul shows up out of nowhere like a true hero. Hold on. Dragon Ball. And when trying to punch Burnface gets him slapped around by magic, the convenient grimoire that Black Soul needs just happens to appear for him. Every shonen ever. This one has a clover with 5 leaves. Yep, 5. I counted, and last time I checked, 5 is bigger than 4, which means that this book is even more rare and special than Yuno's rare and special book. Wonder how much this one would go for on the wizard black market. Anyway, the 5th leaf on the clover represents a literal demon, so Black Soul has demon powers now, and the book produces a giant sword. The episode ended just after said book produced said giant sword, so I can only assume that this is all the 5-leaf book is good for. Let's cross off another couple of things here. Blue Exorcist. Bleach. Yeah, I checked off Blue Exorcist at the start, but who says there can't be more than one parallel? Now that the whole series has been summarized, it's time to give my impression of the first kind. If you like shonen, then you'll love this show. It has all of the shonen. Maybe even too much shonen. Did you see that checklist? It has everything you'll want. I think this series would be a little better if Black Soul calmed down sometimes. Could have started out better as well. I understand that showing the 2 stars as babies is meant to tell the viewers that these two have been together since birth and have had conflicting personalities just as long, but this could have been done at a different time or in a better way. It would have been better off just starting 15 years later. Considering I almost turned it off in the first 5 minutes, the show clearly has its issues, but it has potential to be a pretty decent shonen. I'll give the series a 3.5-leaf clover. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you liked what you saw, then prove it with the buttons below. You know the ones. You can also click my face top and center. Speaking of my face, special thanks to my pal Koji for drawing it. He did a great job bringing out my bright blue eyes. He has a channel you can reach by clicking over on the left. To the right, you'll find another of my videos. Until next time, this has been The Average Weeb. Johnny!